Hello, welcome back. Today we've got a very special video. You'll notice I'm not doing my intro over at my desk, and you'll also see I'm not using a mic and I'm not plugged into anything. That's because of what we're doing today. First of all, I've got my Casio Duro on, also called the Casio Marlin. That's what I got on today. So, what's going on? The nice folks over at AeroBand sent me this guitar to review and to show off some of its features. That's what we're doing today. And the first thing I want to point out, the reason why I'm not plugged into anything, is because right here, built into the guitar, is a 30-watt speaker. So you don't even need to be plugged into anything. Now that's not to say you can't plug in. I could just plug this into my amp like usual, route it to my Focusrite, my interface, and record it like I usually record on my other guitars. But I thought this was a cool way to show off this feature. So you'll be hearing the same thing I'm hearing in the room. It's just the guitar, that's it. So a couple other things before we start hearing what's going on. Power button, volume. This starts a drum loop, which I'll show off later. This little tab right here, this is how you'll see the guitar when you get it. Detachable neck. So very portable, and it's literally just clicking in the button and pulling out the neck. So let me put it back. Strings. This is a mute bar, which we'll talk about later. This is cool. This is where you can plug in a microphone, or the next jack over is where you can plug in headphones if you don't want to make any sound. So with the guitar coming out of the speaker, the drum loop coming out of the speaker, and then if you hook up a microphone, you're pretty much just a one-man band. You'll notice the strings are only on the body. These are all rubber, feel kind of like silicone strings that are embedded into the neck here. And then we've got some buttons up here. This is capo down, capo up, so you can do that on the fly. And then this changes the sound of guitar and what instrument you're playing. So that's a lot of information, but let's actually turn this on and get into it. So the best thing to do is to get this app, the AeroBand guitar app, because there's a lot you can customize inside of it. But when you just pull it out of the box, you don't need the app to turn the guitar on. So I'm going to press the power button here. And now it's on. So you can hear it. And there's the mute bar. So nothing happens if you mute the strings, but the mute bar. Which is also cool because then if you want to play like palm muting, you just put your hand on this. Just a cool feature. Okay, let's talk about these buttons. So I said capo down, capo up. It is really just as easy as pressing the button. Lights indicate how far you've gone. So then we're back to standard tuning. Okay, so let's talk about the app. I'm going to go over here and I'll put a video up of what I'm seeing on this app so you guys can kind of follow along with me. Oops, I just turned it off. I'm not used to having a button here on a guitar. So let me turn it on again. Okay, so we're looking at the app. First thing you can see is down at the bottom is your guitar, and that's real time. So if I strum a string, you can see they light up. So you can see exactly what you're playing. Right? Which I think is cool. But let's go into the settings first. Now, this was the first step I made. And the most important thing here, for me at least, because I've been playing guitar for, 18 years now. So when it comes out of the box, see this, the second option down here says technique. Now I've turned both of these on because that's what I like, but this is how it comes. It comes with it off. The hammer on, the pull off, and the slide are all turned off. So when you pull it out of the box, this is how it comes out. You can't do any slides. You can't do any hammer-ons or pull-offs. Okay, so now with the music I play, jazz, and then a lot of the country stuff too, where I'm doing cover stuff for work for hire kind of stuff. I've been playing guitar for so long that it's very, very strange to not be able to hammer on and pull off and slide, right? Because that's stuff I use every single day. However, if you're a beginner, I would recommend probably keeping these things off so you're not accidentally hitting notes that you don't want to be hitting. Right? So let's turn this on, and I'll do the open string hammer on. So you can hear there's a little bit more wobble in there if I don't hit everything exactly how I'm supposed to, because it's perceiving the hammer on. So that's what I'm used to. That's more of like, you know, a real guitar where you can do hammer-ons and pull-offs and stuff. Okay, while we're in the settings here, I just wanted to show off this, two more things. First of all, the string settings. So I'm going to go into there. Now here you can change the string loudness and the sensitivity of the 6 strings here. It's really customizable. So let's just say the way you play the top string, the first one, is really hard for you to get louder than the rest. So I could just turn this up if I wanted. And now when I'm playing, the top string is way louder. And I'm not playing it any harder than the other strings, but it's set to that. So, I mean, that's the amount of customizability you can pull off here. Now I'm gonna set this back to default, because the good folks over at AeroBand obviously did their research, and this makes the most sense to me. Okay, so we'll go out of there. That's another option. Then the last thing I wanted to show within the settings is the special tunings. Now, when you pull this out of the box, there's no tuning, ever. You don't need to tune this thing. Like even just with the capo, right? There's no messing around with capos. It's just a button, which I thought was cool. But what if you want to play something that's not in standard tuning? So we'll go to the special tuning section here. And I mean, really you can customize this however you want. If you want, you know, your top string to be an F, you can go in there and change it. But I like to, they've already preloaded all the popular ones. For example, here we're in standard tuning, so I'm going to switch to drop D. Simple as that. All right, let's try another one. Let's go to open G. Easy as that. I mean, it's like it's just crazy the amount of time you save not tuning. Anyway, okay, so that's that. I'll go back to standard tuning. And so if you're a more advanced player, I would recommend going in here. I got to be careful not to turn it off, and changing the technique, right? Put on the hammer-ons, the pull-offs, and all that stuff, because that's out of the box. It's set up for a beginner, which is perfect. That's how it should be, right? But if you're not, go in there, change the technique. Okay. All right. So let's listen to some guitar tones. It comes with 9 preloaded. So I'm going to open up this, and you don't need the app to switch between these. Here, let me show you without. It's this middle button right here. And we're back, okay? So let's go through all these and just hear what you can do. And you can get even more if you're plugging this into your DAW. This is MIDI capable. Not only can you plug it into an amp and record it like it's an acoustic instrument or, you know, a regular electric guitar, you can plug this in as a MIDI instrument. And just a couple tips: if you do that, you want to set the buffer size as low as possible, and that's just for latency stuff. And then you go in there, it should pop up, you select AeroBand MIDI, and then any issues from there, just remember you can adjust the string sensitivity within the app. So, I mean, if something feels like it's wonky, you can adjust all that. And if you plug it in terms of a MIDI instrument, I mean, you'd be able to play anything, right? This could make the sound of anything. You could go record a bird call and put it into your DAW and make this play bird calls. So, I mean, the possibilities are endless. So, but let's see what it comes preloaded with. So I'm going to click on this. So you can see the first one, when you open it up out of the box, is an acoustic guitar as if you're playing it with your fingers. Okay, next, an acoustic as if you're playing it with a pick. Okay, number 3, electric. They call this country electric. Okay, electric pop. Oh, I can't do it. There it goes. Usually I smack that low C. Classical guitar. That's pretty good, actually. Okay. Piano. Now I'm going to put this down. Don't mind my bad Bach impression. That's pretty good. All right, what else we got? Bass. I'm going to put this back to standard. Okay, bass. Banjo. The banjo and clavinet. Okay, clavinet. There you go. Okay, so those are what it comes preloaded with. Like I said, if you plug this into your DAW and hit MIDI, I mean, you're going to be able to play anything you want. So, last thing, let's just check out the drum loop. So I'm going to click this button. It should start. And that's that. Okay, so that was a lot of information about the guitar. Last thing I'll say is actually about the app is if you are a beginner, you can just go down to this songs section on the left side, and there's tons of songs you can play along with. It's a really cool way they did this. Tutorials, all that stuff. And then battery level and all that stuff's in the top right of your app. Okay? So, I think that's enough information for today. This is the AeroBand guitar. Thank you once again, AeroBand, for sending this over so I could take a look at it. And hopefully you learned something. There should be a link down in the description if you're interested in one of these. But if not, hopefully at least you found it amusing. It is a cool piece of tech. Anyway, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you for the next one.